My lesson plan focused on digital citizenship through the ITSI or student standards, with a focus specifically on cyberbullying. This lesson was taught to my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders at Crabapple Lane Elementary School. Our basic objectives were for students to make choices about what to do if they or their friends are cyberbullied. They are encouraged to evolve into an upstander, someone who takes action to stop cyberbullying, rather than standing by. Students will compare different forms of cyberbullying and the roles of those involved. Interpret scenarios that illustrate how targets of cyberbullying feel, and identify ways to be an upstander when cyberbullying occurs. My content and ITSI standards focused on digital citizenship and many of the language arts standards for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders in research and presentations. One of the tools that I used was called quizzes. I use this tool for pre and post assessment. It is similar to Kahoot, but there are more options for individualization and differentiation. I created 2 separate quizzes, each of which had formats to meet individual needs. I was able to differentiate the amount of questions and if the students were able to see if they have the correct answer and which is the correct answer after they answer each question. Students use a code to join. They could use it in the classroom or homework, and it is free, which we all love free. Another tool that I use is called Digital Passport. I use the module for each of the digital citizenship, but I'm focusing on the cyberbullying model for this lesson. There was a module video, an evolve game, and then an upstander mission, which is optional. I invited the students to close their eyes and imagine the following scenario. You are playing tag with your classmates at recess. You're nervous because one of your classmates has been picking on you and treating you meanly. The classmate pushes you down and says, "Tag, you're it." You're hurt, but none of your friends stops to help. I told the students that they needed to reopen their eyes and ask for volunteers to share how they would feel in this situation. I explained to them that they are the target of being bullied, and I defined the key terms, upstander and bystander. Ask the students to reimagine the same situation again, only this time they see their classmate push someone else down during the game. What would they do then? And I explained to them that if they decided to support the person who was being pushed down, they would be an upstander. If they didn't do anything to help, they would be a bystander. They would continue through the game, reading different scenarios, and for those early finishers, they would have the optional mission where they created a fortune cookie message from the upstanders to 3 different people: cyberbullies, targets, and bystanders. After they've completed each of the missions, they get a mission badge to show completion. After the module in the Digital Passport, we use another tool called BrainPop. We watched the video on cyberbullying and discussed what we saw. Students reflected on the meaning of cyberbullying and what to do if they encountered it. And then as a post-assessment, we retook the quizzes post-test to see their understanding of cyberbullying after the 2 units. As a final assessment, we completed a Google slide presentation. Here's an example of a slide that I sent as a template. The example is listed. The vocabulary are in blue. I wanted them to tell me what they learned from each mission module, why it was important, to give me an explanation or example with the vocabulary words, and to insert a picture. We also use Flickr for images to insert into our presentation. Here's the rubric that I used. We focused on 4, 3, 2, 1 as a point range. Content, requirements, sources, mechanics, attractiveness, and originality were all scored. And here's an example of my personal child's presentation. As you can see, She highlighted her vocabulary, inserted pictures, listed the rules, signed the pledge, gave credit, and did a screenshot of her module mission badges completion. Thank you.